Okay, so let me get going. My name is Frank Hanley. I'm a volunteer leader with the FSHD Society. I've been doing this, well, actually, a little history of this group. We started this program in September of 2022. We meet the second and fourth Thursdays every month. Subject matter varies by speaker. We do record these sessions, so if you're not able to make it at that particular time, the Thursday at noon Eastern time, the recordings are on the FSHD Society YouTube channel. There's a little bit of a lag between when we actually record it and when we get it posted out there, so give it a couple of days usually. If you're interested in getting a PDF copy of today's exercises, just put your name or your email rather in the chat, and I'll email a copy of that to you. And if you have any questions while I'm talking, you could either put them in the chat, or you can, I'll stop along the way several times for a question. So if you want me to review something, please feel free to stop me, or just hold off until we take a question break and we'll go or whatever you need. I have a web page that I built. It's frankhanley.com, and that's got links to all of the Feeling Fit sessions that I did, and it's got some handouts you can download and stuff like that. So it's a resource page, so you don't have to kind of, well, you can if you want to, but it makes it easier rather than having to browse through all the videos on the FSH Society website or Facebook, YouTube channel. I also run my own wellness channel on Facebook. It's called FSHD Wellness Channel. You can just, if you're a Facebook user, you can find me and join that group. We do exercise sessions usually once a week. And what else do I have for you? So let me just quickly go over what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk a little about myself so people know where I'm coming from. I'm going to go over some exercises that we've chosen specifically. This is hip flexor month. So we've been doing hip flexor exercises this month. And then like at the end, we will open up for discussion. So I did a bunch of exercises the first time we met this month, which was the first really early on. I think it was like the 8th. And I've got another set of exercises that I'm going to do today. So I'm going to do the new ones first, and then we'll circle back and we'll do everything that we've done for the whole month. So that's the exercises that I'm going to go over first today are ones that we're going to do lying down. And then there's a group of ones that we did sitting, and there was a bunch of the ones that we did standing. So whatever flavor, sitting, standing, lying down, whatever you're comfortable doing, we have something for you. Okay. So I said we started, I went backwards, sorry. My story with FSH is I noticed some weakness or some winging of my shoulder when I was about 18. Went to the doctor and they kind of wrote it off at the time. I was working in a grocery store. I'm left-handed. I'm lifting a lot of heavy packages and stuff. So I'm just kind of developing lopsided. That's what the doctor kind of wrote it off at. 93, I was in my late 20s. I started to develop a foot drop, and that's when I went for some testing with an orthopedic, and that led me to the MDA clinic in New Jersey. It was in Edison, New Jersey at the time. And the doctor came in, examined me, left, came back with the book, flipped a couple pages, showed me a picture of someone with winged scapula and said, this is what you have. You have FSH. And at the time, her advice to me was, her description of FSH was, it's not going to kill you. There's no cure. So that's what I walked out of with that knowledge. No information about that. My kids could get it. No other information other than that. It's progressive. I could end up in a wheelchair. Nothing more than that. And granted, this is pre-internet. So understand this is back in the early 90s. 2012, I went to Johns Hopkins and I went to the MDA clinic there. And I was tested. I did do the genetic test then, and it came back type 1 positive. So my both shoulders are affected, and I have a foot drop in my left leg. And over the last year or so, it started to affect my hips. And of course, I've had all along the way abdominal weakness. So I fumbled into the FSHD Society in the springtime of 2019. I just happened to find their website, and there was a meeting that weekend in Philadelphia. So excuse me, I signed up for the meeting. I went to the meeting. I met. That was the first time. I was 63 years old, and that was the first time I ever spoke to someone else that had FSH. So that was kind of a very emotional day. So after that, I retired. Actually, that was in April when I went to that meeting. I retired in June. I was living in Maryland at the time. We retired down to South Carolina. There is no FSH chapter in South Carolina. The nearest one was in Raleigh-Durham, which is about 4.5 hours away. So that's a day trip to get up there and back. So I talked to Beth, and Mark Stone came down to visit, and we launched the South Carolina chapter in February of 2020. 2022, we started this program, like I mentioned, and in 2020, I started my FSHD wellness channel that I mentioned earlier. Why I'm here, why I'm doing this, I practiced martial arts for about 30 years. I practiced Kung Fu, and then I learned Qigong and Tai Chi. And I found that those practices helped me fight back against FSH. I have a lot better coordination. I'm stronger. I feel stronger, and mentally, I'm able to, do something that I feel is fighting back against the disease. So that's why I do this. I share with folks on this channel exercises that I do that help me. Hopefully, you could find something that you like that helps help you also. So that's me in a nutshell. Let me jump forward here. Okay, so I mentioned I'm going to talk about hip flexors. So hip flexors are the muscles in here. They connect your back to your legs. There's 5 main muscles in that muscle group. There's pairs. And there's a lot of other little muscles in there that do a lot of stuff too. So I have had some trouble climbing steps, and now steps have become a real struggle. So and it's affecting my walking. I'm not able to walk any great distance anymore, like I was able to walk around the neighborhood. Now that's even walking the dog is tiring, fatiguing. So I've been doing PT. And I talked to the therapist about it, and she gave me some hip flexor exercises to do, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys today. So that's what I'm going to go over. My normal disclaimer for this group: I'm not a medical professional. I'm a person with FSHD. I practice, like I mentioned, Qigong, Tai Chi, and Kung Fu. I do that daily. I find it helps me fight back against the FSH. I do these sessions to share. This is a demonstration only. You're welcome to follow along. And if you're not sure, consult your medical provider for some guidance, okay? And like I said earlier, if you have any difficulty with any of these exercises, don't get frustrated. We can maybe do some discussion after and maybe figure out something, a better way for you to be able to do it. So, all right. Any questions before I start? All right. Well, if anyone along the way has a question, either just unmute or throw something in the chat. Let me actually bring up the chat here so I can see.
Yeah, I'm curious, what time of day do you find is best to do exercising? And maybe other people can give their opinion.
I do, normally I do these in the morning because that's just that's the easiest time for me to do them. You can do them anytime. It doesn't matter what time of day. It's not, I do them in the morning because I find I get energized from doing them. and I like to go out on the deck and watch the sun come up. So that's just a nice time of day to do it. But any time is good. You could do it. The only thing is, like some of the breathing exercises that I do, I don't like to do them at night because you tend to get oxygenated and it's hard to fall asleep here because you kind of get all, you get oxygen woken up and it's hard for me to sleep. So I normally do the breathing stuff in the morning, and I'll usually do just maybe some light stretching in the evening if I have time to do it then. And I do kung fu forms normally in the evening is when I do my kung fu. And I also, just FYI, I usually hit the gym. I do strength training with weights 3 days a week. So I try to keep as active as I can. Question? Did I answer that question?
If it matters, I do mine in the morning because I have more energy then. I don't have as much energy in the evening or the afternoon. So I have more energy, and it does make me feel better throughout the day.
Yeah, that's what I find. It kind of energizes me. It wakes you up. It's like some breathing and a good cup of coffee, right? So, okay. Anyone else? We'll get going on this. Okay, great. I'm just looking at the chat real quick. Okay, yeah. All right, so I'm just going to start by doing these lying down exercises. My slide deck is out of order here. I apologize. I'll fix that. Actually, let's do that. I got it set up that way, so let's do it first. So I always do breathing. I like to do breathing, and there we go. The breathing that I do is diaphragm breathing, and I like it because a few reasons. Number one, it exercises everything. It expands the chest. It pushes down. It makes you move your diaphragm around, which is important for breathing. And the moving of your diaphragm up and down actually exercises or massages all of your organs in your torso. So I like to do diaphragm breathing. It's part of my Qigong curriculum, and it's a different way to breathe. We were diaphragm breathers when we were born, and we became chest breathers as we got older. And so we've tended to forget how to do diaphragm breathing because we just do chest breathing. And as we get older and older, we're throat breathers. So our breathing starts down here and it ends up here. So my old first kung fu teacher said, keep your chi low, keep your breathing down as low as you can it keeps you young. is basically was his advice. So I'm going to do a little bit of diaphragm breathing. What it is again, you're going to inhale. We're going to inhale through our nose, inhale and exhale through the nose only. And we're going to push down on the inhale. We push down on the diaphragm, and on the exhale, we pull up on the diaphragm. So the pushing down on the diaphragm tends to expand the torso out. And then when we pull up everything, we pull the abs in, everything gets nice and tight in the torso. So we expand the torso on the inhale and we compress everything back down on the exhale. I like to count to 5 to give some rhythm to this. So we'll inhale for count of 5. We'll do maybe 10 of these just so people can get an understanding of how to do the diaphragm breathing. If you have been with me before, we've gone through this, so you're the experts at it by now. So anyway, we'll do an inhale, count to 5, expand. I'm gonna move my hands back and forth to kind of embellish this, but you can keep them in your lap if you want to, or you can move them with me if you want to. It's up to you. I'm also sitting on a chair with no arms. I've got it sideways because I'm going to put my camera on it in a minute. So let me flip that around so I'm not whacking my arms on the chair right now. So anyway, inhale, we're going to expand. Exhale, we're going to compress. So when you compress, you want to pull everything nice and tight, and you want to expand like a balloon. We expand in 6 directions. We're going to expand front to back out, sides out, top and bottom out. All right, so everything in the torso expands. All right, so we'll inhale on the count of 5. Ready? Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, nice and tight. Pull everything in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Nice and tight. Inhale, expand, push everything out. Exhale, pull everything in nice and tight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Breathe in through the nose. Fill the torso. Exhale. Squeeze everything nice and tight. Exhale through the nose. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. So I like to do belly breathing like for 5 minutes just by itself, breathing in and out 1 to 5. If you want to practice doing that on your own, start out doing 1 to 5, and you can set your own pace, whatever you're comfortable with. You want to fill until you start to feel full, like you almost hurt, that you're expanding yourself so much. And then you want to compress down really tight. I have, on a good day, I can get up to 18 of counting like that. So I like to fill, and it's just very relaxing. Beginning of the day gets you going, end of the day you'll relax a little bit. But like I said, don't do it too close to bedtime or you won't be able to fall asleep right away. Okay, I'm going to just shift myself around a little bit here because I want to get on the floor. I promised today to do floor exercises. So that's what we're going to do for the next few exercises. Will all be done lying on the floor, right? And I've got a few toys that I mentioned that I bring with me. So hold on 1 second. Let me fix this. So if you have what I used last week was I used a small ball. We're going to do a little with that today. And I didn't have it last week, but I got it this week. It was a bigger ball to use. All right. So you can get these really cheap on Amazon if you want to go and get that. If you don't want to do that, then maybe just use a throw pillow would be fine to use also. All right. So I'm going to jump down here on the floor. I'm going to fix the camera so you can see me. I'm using a different camera today, June, so I don't turn purple again. Last time we did this, my whole thing turned purple for some reason, and I'm sure that video looks wonderful. Purple Frank.
You're much healthier hue today.
Again?
You're much healthier hue today, the color.
Yeah. Yes, I have a better glow, right? I'm not glowing purple. Okay, so on the floor, I've got I got about 10 floor exercises that we're going to go through. And then, like I said, we'll take a break in the middle for water. We'll do a few more, then we'll take a break for some questions. Then we'll circle back and we'll do if time permitting, we'll do the ones that we started to do last week, or I reviewed the last time. So the first one is a single leg step. So I'm going to lay sideways so you guys can see me. So it's a single leg step. So for sitting lying on the floor, what we're just going to do is bring our one leg up to knees kind of perpendicular to the floor and back down again. So that's all that is. Bring that up, hold it for 5, then back down, up, hold that for 5, and down, up, down, up, down. What you want to do with these is you want to push your lower back into the floor, so you're completely flat on the floor. So keep your back in contact with the floor at all times. And the only thing that is moving is your leg is moving from the hip up to this position here. All right. So we'll do a few on each side. For time's sake, I suggest you try to do 2 sets of 10 for each leg. So I'm switching. I'm doing my left leg now. So up, hold it for 5, and down, up, hold it for 5, and down, up, hold it for 5, and down, up for 5, and down, and up for 5, down, 2 more, up, hold it for 5, and down, last one, up, hold it for 5, and down. Okay, so that's a single leg stepping exercise, right? This kind of mimics stepping, if you will. Next one is a single leg lift. So keep your left leg bent, your right leg is straight, and then bring your right leg up to even with your left knee. So you don't want to go up too high. You just want to bring it up so your knees hit, and then back down again. So let's do 5 each side here. Up 1, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and down. All right. Switch sides. Right leg is bent, left leg is straight, up and down. And if you can, pull your toes back to you. Keep your leg nice and tight. Up and down. Up and down. And up and down. Okay, all right, I'm just gonna take a little sip of water. So if you have water handy, take a little water break. Because I'm talking a lot, so. Okay, what do we got next? All right, next one is, I'm gonna use my little ball. So what we do with this is we're going to take the ball and lying flat, again, flat on our back. Knees are bent. All right, put the ball in between. All right, feet are on the floor. And what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze the ball for a count of 5. Then relax. So you're going to squeeze your knees together. Squeeze for 5. Relax. Squeeze for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. Squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. We'll do 10 of these because we're only doing one side. Squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Again, keep your back pushed into the floor. All right. The only thing that's moving is your knees. 3, 4, 5. Relax. Squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. So pushing your back into the floor should tighten up your core. So hold your core tight. Your back is flat into the floor. Squeeze your knees. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. 2 more. Squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Last one. Squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. Okay. All right. So that's one that I like to do. So again, I'm cutting these short for time, but you want to do another set of 10 of those if you like. 2 sets of 10 is the minimum. If you can do that, shoot for that. And then you could add more sets as you go on. All right, one more and we'll take another water break. Okay, so let's do, again, I'm using my little ball. You don't need to use it, but I like to use it because it moves my focus to the ball and not things. So again, balls between the legs, between the knees, and knees are bent. Hands, you can put your hands behind your head. We're going to do a reverse crunch. So we're going to bring that ball up to high and then back down. So we'll do 10 of these. Up, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, 5, up, 6. Keep your back into the floor, your core's tight. The only thing moving is your legs from in your hip area, these hip flexors. All right, and keep a little tension on the ball so it's not going to fly out from in between your knees. I lost count, so let's do 3 more. 1, down, up, 2, down, and up, 3, down. Okay, so those are reverse crunches. I do a little more of those than I do of the others, simply because I like that exercise. So if you're doing those, you want to do 2 sets of 10, 2 sets of 20, 3 sets of 10, however you want to do it. Try to get up to doing 50 of those a day because it's good for your hips and also your lower abs. So, all right, water break, and I'll take any questions if anybody has any, or if you want me to go over any of those exercises that I just did.
Yeah, I have a question, Frank. Darlene. If I were to try to do those exercises on the floor, I'd have to call emergency services to peel me back off of it. So my question would be, can we do these on, say, on the bed? Is that acceptable, or is the bed too soft and you need something more firm?
That's a really good question. I don't. It depends on, like you said, how soft the bed is. You can easily do them laying down. The idea of doing these laying down is I'm taking gravity out of the picture for the most part, because if we're standing, then we're fighting gravity. Just some people are just fighting gravity just to be able to stand. Never mind to do it. So the lying down is that, and I'm like you, getting up and down is a struggle. So doing them on the bed, doing them on the couch, anywhere where you're laying flat, and it should be something somewhat solid because you want to keep your back flat.
Okay.
You want to keep your, for some of these, you want to keep your hips pressed into, like I'm pressing them into the floor here. So the only thing that's moving is that, I'm hinging on the hips and working the hip flexors. So I would experiment with that to see what works for you. But
Right.
yeah, I understand perfectly what's going on.
Yeah,
And actually, some of these, I don't know if you were here earlier, but some of these you could do seated, and some of them you can do standing also. I've got different flavors depending on where you're comfortable doing them. So a few of these that we just did, we can easily do those seated also, so you don't have to deal with getting up and down off the floor. I get that.
Right, yeah. Plus the weight of my sneakers and my orthotic. I mean, I wouldn't really be able to do that just with the weight of the sneakers. So probably I'd have to remove them just to be able to do that. So that would also probably work on the bed as well if I can make sure I'm totally flat and there's some support there. Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, I would just experiment. Don't do anything to hurt yourself. Safety first. But I would experiment with some of these, and maybe you can find a little variation of it that works best for you. I'm just trying to light the fuse, and you can go and figure out what works and what some stuff I completely will. I won't even present it here because it's not. I don't want anyone to go there because it's just some of these things are just like a plank is really difficult for a lot of people to do. So I'm not going to even try to do a plank with this group. All right. But like I said, you do what you can, you find what works. That's why we're here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question. Good stuff.
Actually, do some of this before getting out of bed. Putting my knee up and then the other leg across it, or lifting up my legs off the bed.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. You could do that. It could be part of
like,
your wake up
doesn't help,
routine.
probably doesn't help my back, but it probably helps my abdomen.
Right. Oh. Single step against the wall. Okay. Anyone else, or we can continue on? We're doing pretty good for time here. So, all right. The next one I've got. Actually, there's two flavors of it, which I will show you. One of them is it's really an isometric. You can do this a variety of ways. So what it is, and again, I'm just laying down. So you could push against your hand. So I'm holding my hand locked. My arm is locked, and with my leg, I'm pushing up against it. All right. So I'm creating some upward force. It's basically this exercise. Now I'm putting some resistance on it. So I'm holding that for count of 5 and I'm releasing it. The last time we did these seated, we used a little ball. That just does nothing else but provides a little bit of a buffer, so I'm not pushing on my leg. And then the best version of this that I can offer you is to use the really big ball, because you can kind of just hold it here and then just push up against it. All right. So in PT, this is the one we're doing, is with the big ball, and you just do that step up. Now I've got some resistance, and I'm pushing against the ball for count of 5. Back down again. So I've given you 3 options there. If you don't have a ball, or you have a throw pillow or something to use. This ball I got at I think I found it in the grocery store, believe it or not. It was like $7. I couldn't pass it up because it was just so cheap, right? And this little one here I got on Amazon. I think it was like $10, $9 or $10. So this my recent additions to my exercise equipment. So anyway, let's do a few of these. So if you don't have a ball, push against your leg. I'm going to use the ball because it's here. So what I've got to do is, again, I'm flat on the floor. My back is flat, and I'm just pushing raising my knee into the ball for count of 5, and then releasing. We'll do 5 each side. And again, this is the same as the first exercise we started with, except that now I've added some resistance to this exercise. 3. I'm holding for a count of 5. I'm pushing against the ball. Last one on this side. Push against the ball. All right, switch legs. I'm using my right leg now into the ball. 5. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last one. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, I do these. I do 5 each side, and I'll do a total of 20. So I'll just keep alternating 5, 5, 5, 5. So I'll do 4 sets of 5 rather than 2 sets of 10, simply because I get fatigued doing these so far, because I just actually started doing these a couple of weeks ago, like I mentioned. So, okay. Signal, step against the ball. Isometric. Okay, good. The next one is, I saw other folks doing this online, one of the other exercise groups, and then I started doing it with my therapist. So this one is lying on your side. Okay. Let me get this ball. This ball's got a mind of its own now. There we go. So we're going to lay on our side, and our feet are going to be together, and our knees are together. And we're going to keep this hip forward, and we're going to raise this knee, the top knee up and back down again. All right, so keep your hip forward. So keep your hand on your hip so your hip is forward. We're going to raise our knee up and back down again. I think they call this a clamshell stretch. Something like that. Up and down. Again, the key to this is keeping your hip forward. So you get this, your glutes are not doing the work. It's in your hip flexors. All right. These are not easy. All right, keep that hip forward. Roll the hip forward. Up and down. There's 5. I'm only going to do one side. Otherwise, I'm going to have to flip around and face the camera the wrong way. So I'd rather just do this, and you guys can flip it at home and do the other side at your leisure. Up, down, 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that hip forward. Up. And you can really feel that one in the back of the leg too. So, all right, that's clam lift. And the last 2 that I've got, I did the single. Oh, I did the single leg lift. All right. So the last one I've got is a double leg lift. We did the single before. I'll repeat that just for clarity. All right. So we're going to lay down, and the single leg lift, we bent. I got my left leg bent, and I'm raising the right leg up and down. So that was the single. All right, so the double is we're going to just bring both up and down. Again, keep your back flat in the floor. Let your abdominals do the work. All right, don't let it go up way over your head. Just up to that 45-degree angle and back down. Try not to let when your feet hit the floor, come right back up again. Don't rest at the top. Right back up. Let's do 2 more. Down, up, down. Last one. Up and down. Oh, I love doing those. Such a great feeling when you get done with those things. Can't move. Okay, so that's all I've got from my laying down. So if anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I was going to say, I find the way down is almost more effort than the way up.
Say again?
To bring the legs down under control instead of just letting them crash down.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to just let them drop. Good point. You want to, it's a controlled movement in both directions, up and down.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
Yes.
almost more work than bringing them up.
Yeah. Go again, because you're fighting gravity more on the way down, right? Because you want to go down, but you don't want them to drop.
I think it's different muscles that control the way down.
It could be. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. All right. And then we can, hey, anybody else have any questions? Let me see if I can see the gallery here. I think most people have their cameras off.
Yeah, how much time a day do you find you exercise?
Me, I try to, these I usually do in a half hour to 40 minutes in the morning.
Mhm.
And then when I did, with the days I go to the gym, I usually do, I'm in the gym for like 90 minutes. So those days it's the 2 of them added together. And a couple, 3 nights a week, I'll do some Kung Fu forms in the garage because it's cool out at night. So I'll do forms for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Keep moving. Movement is medicine. I think somebody said that a long time ago in this group. Okay. All right. I'm going to circle back and go go over what I went over at the first session. So if you bear with me for a minute, let me get my camera back up on my desk. Standing up off the floor is like an adventure here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over exercises that we did. Some were sitting and some were standing. So if there's no preference of one over the other, I'll do the standing ones first, and then we'll do the seated ones. I'm sorry I don't have a cameraman here to help me make all these adjustments, and I've got just one computer with the camera in it. So, okay, so I'm going to stand. I'm going to be a little smart and have my chair next to me for stability, right? Just in case. All right, so when we stand to do standing exercises, again, just to review, I'm standing straight, my feet are flat on the floor. I just have a gentle gaze straight out. We breathe in and out through our nose. We should be doing that for this whole hour. The tip of your tongue touch the back of your roof of your mouth and your back teeth, the back behind your front teeth. Let me say that again. The tip of your tongue touching the roof of your mouth just behind your front teeth. Feet are flat on the floor. Your body's relaxed. So all your energy, all your weight is straight down into your feet. Okay. So that's proper standing when we start these exercises. So the first one I like to do is for the sides here. It's a side bend. So if you keep your hips straight and just bend so your hand slides down to your knee, you'll feel that stretch over here, and then come back up again and down the other side. I like to do these just to stretch these lateral muscles here. So I usually do like 20 of these. If you get really good at doing these, you can add a dumbbell in each hand so you can get a better stretch. And then if you really want to give yourself a good stretch, use it with one dumbbell and exercise that full range for about 10 reps, and then switch hands so the weight's on the other side. And otherwise you'd be holding dumbbells and you're balanced in between, which is a good thing. So work on the balance first. All right, so we do side bends, works here. What I do after the side bends is I do toe touches. So hands behind the back, and I really just come down to where I'm comfortable. You can go all the way down to touch your hands on your toes if you want, and then come back up. Inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down. So we're going to exhale on the way down. Let your arms hang. Get a good stretch in your lower back, behind your legs, your hamstrings. And then inhale on the way up. When you get up to 12, when you're completely straight, stop inhaling and just lean back gently. Let your shoulders roll back. Get a stretch in your upper back. Exhale on the way down. Inhale on the way up. Inhale, stop breathing when you get to 12. Stretch back. Come back up to 12 and exhale on the way down. Stretch your lower back out. All right, up. Can I lean back gently? And back to 12. So that gets the front and the back and your upper shoulders. Okay. To Darlene's point earlier, that one exercise we did laying down, we could do a standing knee raise. Basically the same motion that we had when we were laying down. So I like to bring the knee up to belt height if you can, and then back down. Again, my other leg, is flat on the floor. And even if you want better balance, you could, let me just turn the camera here a second. If you want better balance when you're doing these, turn the static foot out on a 45. It'll help you balance. So my right leg is, the foot's kind of angled out on a 45. I've got my chair here, of course, and I'm raising my left leg up. So it just gives you a little more stability when you're standing. So this leg comes up and down. 2 more. Nice one on the left side. And we can switch. Left foot, a little bit of an angle. Right leg comes up. Hold it for a count of 5. Bring it down. Up. Down. I'm just going to do 5 of these because we've been through them already. Up. Down. And up. And down. Okay, so that's the standing knee raise. Next one is a tapping exercise. I'm using the ball because I don't have a box, but if you have like a shoe box or something that's not going to roll, it would be better because this ball just has a mind of its own. So anyway, all right, he's good there. So this exercise is just a tap. So again, get comfortable standing, push your energy into the floor so you're nice and stable. And we're just going to step up and tap and step up and tap. We're going to do that alternating. And you could do as many of these as you want. It's just a simple step up and tap. The key to this, because of my left side is way weaker than my right, this foot tends to go out if you watch when I'm doing these. So what you want to do is make sure that leg comes straight forward. All right, force yourself. See, if you notice on my right foot comes straight forward, or my left foot wants to go out. All right, so that's why I'm working on this. All right, it's all in those hip flexors. All right, so up, tap, down, and don't try to do these too fast where you're going to lose your balance. Right, and again, like a shoebox or something that's not going to roll is good, but for the sake of the demonstration, I'm just going to use my little ball here. All right, and again, I'm holding onto the chair. You can't see me because of the way I have the camera set up, but I'm holding onto the chair. So step tap. So the other thing you can do is not only just to step and tap, but get that leg up high and step down on the ball. All right, rather than just a tap to bring that leg up. Tap, bring it back down again. All right, simple little tap to start to get used to that, get some rhythm going. All right, okay. The last one I'll do for you today here in the standing one is that, again, I'm going to demonstrate this just on the floor because I don't have a step here, but it's if you are in front of a staircase, it's a step up, step down. So make believe we're standing in front of a step or a staircase, but we're only going to use the bottom step. And what you do is now, let me just set my camera back a little bit. Okay, holding on. So when I'm working the left side, I'm holding on with the right hand. Okay, and if I'm working the right leg, I would put the chair on the other side or turn around and hold with my left hand, just for balance sake. And the way this works, because as we're going up a flight of stairs, what we're doing is I'm going to step up with my left foot. So make believe we're stepping up on a step. And then I'm going to bring up my right foot. And then I'm going to step down right. And I'm going to step down left. Step up left. Step up right. Step back down left. Or right, I'm sorry. Let me do that over again. So you step up left. Step up right. Step down right. Step down left. Right? Left up. Right up. Right down. Left down. And this is much more difficult when you have a step in doing this, but again, for demonstration, this one's a tough one on the stairs. So actually, if you were online with us last month, I had my 1,000 rep challenge. This is what I was doing. I got up to doing 300 of these in a day, which was not easy. And I haven't done any since. So, all right, and then just for the other side, all right, I'm going to work my right side. I'm holding on with my left hand, so it's going to be right step up, left step up, left step down, right step down. Okay, so that we always start and end on the one foot. The other foot moves in the middle. Okay, so steps 1 and 4 are on one side, steps 2 and 3 are the other side. Step up right, step up left, step down left, step down right, up right, up left, down left, down right. One more, right up, left up, right down, and left down. And again, make sure you're lifting your foot when you're stepping up and stepping back. All right, that's the idea, is to get the work in here. We've developed all kinds of little cheats. All right, we want to stop cheating ourselves and get these muscles working again. All right, so that's the step up and step down. That's my list of standing exercises. Does anyone have any questions on the standing exercises? Because I'm going to sit, and we'll do some sitting, and then we'll be done. All right? Anyone?
Yeah, I want to say those toe touching exercises. I actually do it like when I have something in the microwave for a minute and a half or whatever, and I have a counter right there for balance. So I do like about 10 or 15 of those while the thing is cooking.
Nice. Nice. So you're multitasking, right? You're cooking and we're exercising in the same space.
Yeah.
Good stuff. June, did you have your hand up?
Oh, no, I just gave you a thumbs up. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Why
mean,
did
And
I do-
it's good because I think you can feel it in the hips for sure. It's working the hips. And I like what Daniel is saying because he's essentially integrating the exercises into his daily routines.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's like I don't have to remember. I just thought, it's just like it's getting to be a habit. Also, since we're Zooming all the time, I find, I can do some of the leg lifts or something like that if I'm Zooming, I'm just like, I'd be sitting on the floor and
Right.
doing some of that.
Right. Yeah, I find myself doing some of these, like the breathing. If I have the TV on, I can do a half hour of diaphragm breathing while I'm just sitting watching TV. You don't need anything special to do that. What you need is air, and that's plenty of that. So,
I had a PT person who was big into the breathing, and her focus was on exhaling as much as possible, because otherwise you don't really inhale into that lower lung area because the air just stays there. So it's like to be able to inhale more, you have to like totally exhale and empty everything.
right. Well, that's why I can't do the counting. So the idea is that you inhale and exhale at the same rate. So you should be emptying as much as you take in. But if you notice it when you're breathing, like if I said take a deep breath. So if everybody take a deep breath and breathe in and out through your nose. So take a deep breath and inhale as much as you can. And when you're totally full, raise your hand. Okay, but don't exhale. Hold it for a second. So start inhaling. Okay, now exhale. You can exhale way more longer than you can inhale, because you can always push a little more out. Inhaling is harder because you're expanding. It's a lot easier to contract than it is to expand. To your point, Daniel. It's easier to empty than it is to fill, but you get lazy when you empty. And emptying is fun because you've got a lot of that dead air you want to replenish, which is why the inhaling expands everything out. And then when you compress down as much as you can to clear that all out. That's why I kind of make a point of that when I'm talking. Exactly to her point, she just said it a different way. Good. Anyone else? Thumb up, hand up, question? I can't. Renee, did you just give me a thumb up? You're good to go? Okay. All right, let's just do the seated exercises and then we can go back to our day. All right. And let me just again review. If you've been on these shows with me before, you've heard this a lot. I'm sitting on a chair that's a little higher than a regular chair, but it's not a pub height chair. My hips are a little higher than my knees. So I'm sitting with my feet flat on the floor. I have no arms on this chair. And when you're sitting doing these exercises, if you can sit at the edge of the chair. If you need the sides of the chair and the back for stability, then please be safe. But I like to sit at the edge of the chair. And we do not use a chair with wheels, all right? Because I always say that's just an accident waiting to happen. So again, we breathe in and out only through our nose to regulate. And tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth just behind your front teeth. Your feet are flat on the floor. Gently grip the floor with your toes if you can. And just relax and let your energy, let your weight just sink down into your if you're on the edge of the chair, into the edge of your seat, okay? So the seated exercise list that I have is short. I got 4 exercises here. So the first one we did lying down and we did standing, and we can do seated also, is again just to raise that leg up, hold it for 5, and let it go back down again. So up, hold it for 5, and down. When you get up on the edge, up, hold it for 5, down, switch sides, up, my right side, hold it for 5, and back down, up, hold it for 5, and back down, up, hold it for 5, back down, one more, up, hold it for 5, and back down. And the other flavors of this are basically what we did on the floor also. We had to raise your knee. I'm just going to push my chair back a little bit so you can see my knees better. All right. So the other one it's that isometric. So we're going to hold our hand on the knee and push down against it to provide some resistance. So we're going to hold that for 5 and relax. Up, hold it for 5 and relax. Up for 5 and relax. And then we can switch sides. Up for 5 and relax. Up for 5. Relax. Last one on this side for 5. And relax. Okay. And the other flavor of this is if I can bring my big ball back. All right. This put the ball in your lap, and then we just raise up and against the ball. So it's basically the same exercise, but now I'm pushing against the ball. So I'm not on my hand down here pushing. I'm just holding the ball in place, and I'm lifting up against the ball. So it's the same exercise. I'm just using the ball for resistance. Either side, both sides, alternating. I count to 5 and relax. Up, I count to 5 and relax. And one more on the right side. And relax. Again, these balls, you can do a variety of things with them. I just like it for that particular exercise because I find it really helpful. Last one, and then we'll, I guess we're right on the edge of the time here. Is just a leg extension. So again, I'm gonna push. All right, so feet are flat on the floor. I'm sitting back in the chair now, and I'm gonna raise my foot up. You can't see my toes barely in the bottom of the camera there. And we're gonna come down again. So it's gonna work the quad, really, inner and outer quad. So raise that up. If these don't present any sort of a challenge for you, you can always add an ankle weight, put a 5-pound ankle weight on, and do these extensions with that. Again, it's good for the knee. It's good for the quad. All right, and the quads, the inner part of the quad connects up to those hip flexors. So it's all connected, like we say. All right, so I'm just going to do 2 on this side, 2 on my left, 1. That last one is up for 2. All right, so that's in soup to nuts. All the exercises for the hip flexors and the upper legs that we did over the course of February. All right, so I'm going to open the floor to anyone who might want to make a comment or have a question.
I've got to head out. Thanks, Frank.
Hey, Daniel, thank you. See you soon. Okay.
These are great.
Anybody? What's
Thank
that,
you,
Jim?
Frank. I just want to say these were really great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you. And you have the PDFs for these, right, Frank? I gave you my email. So the,
Yeah, I've got, actually, I think I had it mistyped last time because I think you asked one for me the last month also, or earlier in the month. I think I had a typo in it because it got kicked back to me, so I'll get it to you.
yeah, I couldn't, yeah, it was like the Zoom session ended as I was typing it.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
And then I lost it.
All right.
With
I
the-
got it here. June has preserved a copy of that, so we'll get that to you.
Thank you. Thanks, June. And with the last one where you're doing the hip, like you're stretching out your leg, you're saying to sit back in the chair instead of being on the edge.
Yes, yes. Sit back in the chair so your knee is supported by the edge of the chair.
Okay.
So-
And
so-
I do disagree. You can do these in a power chair because a power chair ain't going anywhere, even though it has a set of wheels.
Right, well, I meant the normal office chair with wheels. Some
Oh, you
people-
meant office chair or regular manual
Yes,
wheel?
regular, yeah, some people like
Unless
to
you have
live
the brakes.
dangerously, and, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mean a power chair, or a scooter or anything like that, I meant.
Yeah, I love the
So-
power chairs because they don't go anywhere. As long as you're not pushing that joystick, it'll stay in
Right.
place. The
Right.
only other thing that can move a power chair is another power chair.
Right, right,
That's pushing it. Okay, thank you.
okay. All right,
Thank you, everybody.
thank you all, let me see you.
Yep.
All right, Al,
So I
thank you
believe,
for tuning in.
yes, thank you. Next month, we'll be back as usual on Thursday, second and fourth Thursday. I think Rita Lynn has said she will do some yoga. So adaptive yoga. So we're looking forward to that.
Great,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, June, appreciate it,
Uh,
thanks, everyone.
Thank you.